Okay, welcome to Friday Coffee. Glad you're here. I'm Susan from the Chamber. It's good to have everybody here today. First of all, thank you to our sponsor, CMS Business Services. I know that we have Stephanie here. We're going to visit just a little bit later, but first I want to remind, welcome to the folks that are joining us on Zoom also. A few housekeeping rules. We do have you muted right now, and if you have any questions, Ashley is monitoring the chat. And also any part of this, we ask that you do not record it without permission for future use. So do want to welcome our new members, and I look around the room. I'm not sure if I see any of them with us today, but when we do our introductions, if you are a new member. Oh, okay. Started yet, but you're filled out. Oh yeah, Jose is on. Yeah, Jose is on here. Yeah, okay. Ambitious Creations, Cedric Crawford. Capital Kids, Ron Swasson. Cricket Wireless and Gateway, Jose Ramos. I'm sorry, Jose, you're here. Yeah. Jefferson City Country Club, Brian Meeks. Larry's Motorsports, Travis Knorr. Luke DeMeyer Sign, Tracy Chenard. Missouri Realtors, Aaron Hervey. Pizza Huts in St. Martin's, Laura Mertens. And Vulcan Excavating, Adam Vulcan. So we welcome those new members. At this time, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. And so when you introduce yourself, say your name and your business, but if there's anything that you want to share about your business or maybe something you're involved in the community, this is a great opportunity for us to come together and share that great information about the business, our community. So do you want to go ahead and start?
Oh, sure. My name is Taylor Dane. I'm with Holland Family Chiropractic.
Deb Bushman, Holland Family Chiropractic.
I'm Christopher Scott with Farmers Insurance and also president of the Old Summit Community Betterment Association.
Gary Plummer, I'm president of the Chamber.
Simone Costello from Missouri Department of Corrections and Missouri SGR.
Jose Ramos, Gateway Wireless. The biggest thing that Cricket does is help individuals that are struggling financially to have a cell phone. Right now we have this called ADV. So it's a federal fund in COVID relief, so it's $50 towards their supplement. So I'm all animals very well.
Michelle Weaver, from the state.
Trisha Lawrence, I'm business development manager for contractors. In short, we get broken buildings. We also specialize in restoration and disaster construction and restoration. And I am on the right. Here, project coordinator and justice for youth.
Andrea Holloway, executive director at Housekeeping Rules for Youth, and in short, we provide substance use prevention education, along with suicide prevention education for students here in Cole County and Susan. Morning, Bridget Whitley, executive director of the Most Policy Initiative. We're a nonpartisan nonprofit that's trying to connect good science information to policy making at the state and local levels. Ashley Tenney, program manager with the Jefferson City Chamber.
Jay Moore, I'm on staff with the Chamber.
DeVritis, work with Chamber. Community engagement for Central Missouri foster care adoption and provides services for foster adoptive to families in Central Missouri. And we recently just went from 13 to 24 counties.
Jason, the happy construction, ex-president of the HBA. That's not
Mike Lester, City Council Report 2.
Paula Benny, CNS Business Services. Jackie Clayton, CNS Business Services.
Sean Staffen, with the Chamber staff.
Carlos Bryant, Michigan University.
Gaspare, Calvaruso, Capital Region Davidson.
Davidson, Martin with the current Chamber.
Good. And Ashley, how many are joining us on mute? Does anybody want to unmute on Zoom? Does anybody want to unmute and introduce themselves? 15. If anyone wants to unmute themselves and introduce them, give you this time.
Elena Winship from Capital Region. Marcy Crane, American Cancer Society.
Ashlyn Sherman, Capital Region.
Darren Heckman, High Five Communications.
I think that's a long enough pause that we just got everybody. Okay. Dan, do you want to introduce yourself? Very good, good, good. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to reintroduce and thank our sponsors, CNS Business Services, and Paula and Stephanie, you're going to come up.
Good morning, everyone. Paula Benny with CNS Business Services and CNS Staffing Solutions. So a little bit about us. Okay, CNS Business Services will be celebrating 45 years next year. We are the oldest staffing service in Central Missouri and handful of the oldest in the state of Missouri and independently owned. So a lot of things have changed over the 45 years. I've had it 33. But where traditional staffing is full-time employment. So clients will call us needing a full-time staff. They'll call us for part-time staff. They'll call us for temporary, which is, you know, from your needing somebody for a day, a week, a month, 6 months, or a maternity leave, a peak period, a project, whatever those situations are. Temp to perm or temp to hire is a popular and gaining more popularity. Is if an employee is at your location, they work out, they're great, they don't want to let them go. If there's not a position in that where they're currently at, they'll create one. You know, the employees are invited. Direct hire, primarily salaried in professional positions where, you know, we locate those individuals. And in our 45 years, things have changed. We've had to change, you know, with the pandemic that came about. We've had to adapt to the way that people want to work. And so we brought in flexible scheduling. We listened to our clients, and something that we've implemented this year is, and we've had to get our clients on board, because you have to identify a position that a employee can choose a shift, the day, and the day of the week. So they sign up with us, and they can choose what day, what shift, how many shifts they want to work. And this is gaining, we've just started implementing it, it's gaining popularity, and we hope that it, you know, what the young population calls it gig work, right? Gig staffing. So this is what we're doing. The other thing that got rushed last year was remote work. And this is because we're a state, you know, area. The state agencies went remote. Last year was an interesting year, but we switched a lot of people to remote. We have several clients that have a lot of positions that have gone remote, and we work with state law. So the remote work is very popular, got a lot of demand, individuals that want to do remote work, and we do have hundreds of positions within the remote work field. And again, these seasonal, we have a lot of seasonal work, and payroll. Payrolling is also gaining traction. It's very popular. And payrolling is where you have the individual that you want to employ, but maybe don't want them on your payroll. You don't want to do the W-2s. You don't want to do the withholdings. And so they just put them on our payroll. Maybe they come back for Christmas or just working through the summer, and they don't want to put them on the payroll, and that's where we help you out. So, and you can see the industries, multiple, you know, places that we place people in administrative, manufacturing, and you can see the list of positions that we place there. Along with the changes, we've changed up a lot of things this year. We are doing a refer a friend program, trying to get those candidates. And so not only does the candidate get a referral bonus, but the person referring that person can get a referral bonus.
That's the standard I'm trying to do, guys. And I don't want to step on all in here, but the Refer a Friend program is for anyone. Before CNS had a referral program internally with our temporary employees and our staff, that if they would refer someone, we would reward them with a bonus. But this particular program is with a QR code there. Anyone can sign up. You just get in, and if you happen to be talking to someone 2-3 months or tomorrow down the road, send them to us. We put them on assignment. We would reward you. So you don't have to be employed by CNS, just the person interested to us. So I encourage you, just go ahead and scan that code, sign up, and then, you know, if something happens, you're having coffee with someone and you happen to refer to us, we will definitely get you rewarded.
Popular program. And then we mentioned the flexible scheduling. Insurance, something that we've always had insurance for our employees, but it's on a 12-month look back and it's pretty good insurance. But people needed insurance right now, right today. So we implemented first of all, pretty much a day one insurance for the employees, and they really have gotten like that so that they can get insurance. Weekly in-house payroll. Why is this important? A lot of our competition, they outsource their payroll, and it's in Ohio or whatever, and the employee might have to wait 2 weeks to get their paycheck, or if there's an issue or a problem, it takes weeks to get it fixed. We fix it day of. So my in-house accounting department does the payroll, we fix the issues, we get the people paid, and that's what's important to keep them working. And we resolve all issues immediately. Along with having an in-house payroll, something that I noticed many years ago is I got a lot of phone calls from payday loan companies, and they, you know, were wanting fees. They would charge fees, you know, and they want to garnish and all this kind of stuff. And I find out it was an exorbitant amount of fees that they were charging our employees. So I said, we're not doing that anymore. We do it in advance to our employees. They show me that they've got time on their time sheet. We advance their pay, so they're not having to go to the payday loan companies. They can pay, you know, the gas in the car, fix the tire, pay the rent, whatever it is, we're going to help them. So that's also the benefit of having in-house. Bonuses. We started this 2-3 years ago, and it's been a lot of fun. And maybe you can explain.
Right, we have CNS has developed an employee recognition award that we give annually to our temporary staff that are out in the field working, and they are nominated by their supervisor in their business. In fact, we have someone in the room right now, Jason Oppie, he nominated someone who's placed at Construction. I think it was last year that received this award. The award is a $1,000 bonus for them. And so Jason or supervisor there would submit a nomination form. We have a nomination form, and we have a rating scale that they're evaluated by all the nominations. And so we kind of picked the top candidate from there. And last year it was one of Jason's employees, and he was an outstanding employee, had been with Jason for a long time, had overcome some incredible obstacles in his personal life that, you know, kind of went into play, and we found him to be the most deserving. So we're doing that again this year with another candidate, and we make it a big deal. We go over and we bring the big check and everything and surprise them, and all the company kind of rallies around. I think it's kind of a neat team building for the companies that we serve too. So that's something that we started out and we continue to do.
And the supervisors have thanked us because that's a way they can thank that employee. They appreciate that, even if they're not the awardee. We recognize all the nominees. So we've had fun with that. So again, we're 45 years, and you know, a lot of things, like I said, have changed in the 45 years. We're trying to adapt, continue to adapt. You know, some interesting things, you know, in those years is the positions have changed. You know, I don't get shorthand dictation. I don't get, you know, switchboard operators or key punch operators. So there's been a lot of involvement and a lot of fun. And along with the 45 years, I can boast that my staff has almost 200 years combined experience. They've been with me almost like a total 33 years, and that comes with a lot of experience. So when you, in the staffing world, there's a lot of challenges, and in tenure for a staffing specialist is 3 years, and mine have over 25 years each. So that's a lot of experience that you get. And it speaks for Paula on how she treats her employees too. So very, very proud of you. So, thank you.
Prizes you want to give away, so I'm gonna let you take that.
And inside we've got a tumbler and a CNS t-shirt, and then also inside is a gift certificate, which is another kind of a neat thing that Paula does for some nice bonuses for her clients and staff. It's a gift certificate to the Capital City Festival of Lights. So if you haven't been through it, you can, whoever wins can go on us. Brittany Whitley.
Yeah, and she tried to walk by the table and do her name tag and register, and told her, you know, say the word in the race. Okay, I'm gonna take this picture. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Nice to meet you, right? Good. Okay, great. Thanks, ladies.
Paula, can I ask a question? CNS, which is
Carolyn and Scott Thompson.
okay, that's what you were thinking of the original voters.
Original.
Okay, all right.
Just answer your CPA.
What is it?
Carolyn and Scott Thompson.
Carolyn and Scott Thompson, who were from T and Thompson and Thompson CPA, were here today.
Right. Speaking of sponsors, thank you for sponsoring. That was a great program and an example. If you want to be a sponsor also, the Friday coffees in 2022 are available for your sponsorship. And Rochelle, do you want to speak with this? Because we partner with Cumulus group on this. So
you know, I'm excited. We've been doing it for several years now. We have, I work for Cumulus Media. We have 7 wonderful radio stations. When you sponsor this Friday coffee, you get to do exactly what these ladies just did. And then we also get to meet with me, and we're going to crack you a 30-second radio ad. It's going to air on our radio stations. What market was it? 125?
Yeah, that is a lot of exposure because we try to promote you in advance and then here at the program. Some quick announcements before we get to our program. Opportunities to network just like this. Different Chamber Connections is always on the 3rd Thursday. It's from 4 to 5:30 at a different member restaurant or bar. In December, it's kind of a tradition. It's been at Spectators for years, and Kurt Fisher is a sponsor with that with Fisher Body Shop. So Scott and Kurt sponsor that, and our friends at KWS and Cat Country join too. But this is the farewell Chamber Connections there, because some of you may know it's been announced that they're closing Spectators to reopen in the spring. In a different format for that facility. So Scott is anxious to have everybody there for the farewell Chamber Connections and Spectators. And he's also going to give us a little bit of insight and kind of announce his plans for the future. So we're looking forward to that and hope that you can join us. Bring your business from 4 to 5:30 on December 16th. And with that, looks like we have a little quirk in our program here, but I'm going to introduce Gary so he can introduce the program.
Thank you. Before I get started, we have another arrival here, Ron.
Yeah, Ron Fitzwater from the Missouri Pharmacy Association. Also
okay, very good. I'll do it again.
It was memorable, Jason.
First thing mentions 3. Well, it's my pleasure this morning to introduce you to a couple of presenters and talk about something pretty important to our organization, which is adopted a new 3-year strategic plan. And these 2 gentlemen play a very important role in We had over 200 members of the chamber involved in either taking a survey or attending a focus group. And so there are a lot of fingerprints on this plan that Jeff and Gaspare are going to share with you today. Without any further ado, I want to introduce 2021 Chamber Chairman Jeff Davidson, who is Vice President at Modern Little Print, and our 2022 Chairman Gaspare Calvaruso, who is the President of Capital Vision Medical Center. So, gentlemen.
This way, closer to Jeff.
Yeah, snuggle up.
Snuggle up, Jeff. So you want to talk about the our clothes choices today first?
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, so the only reason I'm wearing a jacket is because Gaspare wears a suit every day to work. And so this morning as I was getting dressed, I said to my wife, what should I wear to this thing? Gaspare's going to be wearing a suit and tie. I need to wear, something so I look appropriate.
And Jeff is usually casual, so
I'm usually a casual guy. I walked in this morning and looked at him. I thought, man, I missed out an opportunity to go casual today. So Gaspare's a casual one. I'm in the jacket today, so we're switching places.
Okay, well, do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah.
As Gary mentioned, this has been kind of a process, and I was just looking on the walls here, and the chamber chairs are all kind of listed here, and I looked at Dave Minton, so that's 3 back, I guess, including Jeff. That's really when this process started. There was a chamber board retreat that discussed, the idea of separating economic development from the chamber. And over 2 years ago, pre-pandemic kind of discussion led into a consultant that was brought in to really kind of reassess things here for us and help guide the executive committee as well as the chamber board on some of the decisions that have been made that are now obviously kind of, it became true, right? So it's kind of interesting to kind of look back at all this kind of dreaming, if you will, back then, and then to sit down here now and say, okay, this is actually, taking place, and we're actually to the point now where we have a strategic plan, and we're going to be doing the things that we talked about doing a couple of years ago. Jeff and I are going to walk through the strategic plan here, and I just want to make the point that that study and that consultant that was brought in a few years ago, a lot of that information was used. So it wasn't like it was a wasted effort. I mean, a lot of that information was used, which is basically the feedback from our community and from all of you. That there were, how many people at our retreat this past? About 2 months ago, there was probably about 40 individuals. So it included the board as well as government leaders, economic development leaders, and other key members of our community. So I think I can speak for Jeff that we feel extremely proud and felt that this process was a really, really good process. So I'm going to walk through the mission, vision, and values, and then Jeff and I are going to kind of take each one of these goals and talk a little bit more about it. But I think before we start, and I'm not going to quiz you, but does anybody know our old mission statement? It's up on the wall here, and it's on the screen, but I know I never did. And it's pretty verbose. Our mission is to promote economic vitality and strength in the Jefferson City area, to be a leading public policy advocate for business people and provide valuable services to our members, and fully participate in partner activities that improve the economy and quality of life. All true, but it's pretty wordy, right? And all of you here really with your businesses really probably understand that mission statements are really trying to get to the point. We wanted to be concise. We wanted to obviously kind of reframe ourselves too of where we're going. So when we look at our new mission statement, to boldly promote economic vitality. That's what we're here for. And not to be the teacher here, but if you look up mission statements, they are supposed to describe what we do and why we exist. And I think the team, hit the mark here. And it'll be nice to pull that down and kind of put smaller. We'll have to redo that here soon. Our vision statement, and again, just kind of provide some context here. A vision statement is supposed to describe what we aspire to be and where we are heading. And I think our new vision statement does that, to provide value to members and be the catalyst for improving business climate and quality of life. It incorporates a lot of the stuff that you see up on the wall here, but again, vision statement, in some aspects we have attained some of this, or we do pretty good at it, but consistently, this is what we want to try and do, is provide value to all of you, to the members. That's why you participate in the chamber. But we also want to be that catalyst. We want to be the driver of improving the business climate. Lots of challenges ahead for all of us. And if we improve the business climate, that's going to improve the Jefferson City area. So those are our new mission and vision statements. When you talk about value statements, these are basically the fabric, and these statements or these ideals will help shape and support our mission and vision. Another way to say it is, this is what we want our culture to be. And again, in a lot of respects, it is our culture, but we want to restate that. And so, you know, there's three themes: welcoming, excellence, and integrity. And with these themes and in some value statements, our values, you just see the one word, but we thought it would be important to kind of describe what we're trying to say when we say these words. So welcoming, we want to be inclusive, we want to collaborate, and we want to engage. I mean, that's pretty much a chamber's, you know, kind of duty. Excellence, we want to be visionary, we want to grow, and we want to be innovative. It's imperative that as a chamber, we are trying to identify new ideas, because the old ways of doing things sometimes we need to change. And integrity, something that this chamber I know has, and we want to you know, protect. We want to be transparent, we want to be open, and we want to be respectful. Any questions about mission, vision, and values? Okay, now we're going to kind of take turns on the strategic goals here.
Yeah, so what you're seeing over these next few slides is a 3-year strategic plan. So you see those years, 2022 through 2024. So this is a 3-year plan. There's 5 primary goals underneath the strategic plan, which Gaspare and I will take turns talking about. Underneath those goals, you have a strategy, which is the bold words you see there, and then tactics below them. So as we kind of move through these, Gaspare and I won't talk about every single word that you see up on the screen or on the Zoom call, but we do want to call out specific things that are of interest to us personally, and we think are primary concepts within the strategic plan. So first and foremost, our first goal in the strategic plan is to provide valuable services to small business. And I think this is first for a reason. Small business is what I would say is really the heart and soul of the chamber. It's the vast majority of the members by number. It's the majority of the people you see at meetings like this, on committees, you know, serving in various aspects of the chamber. And so we need to, as one of our primary value propositions, is be delivering services to small business. We want to make sure that that value proposition for a new member like Jose or folks that haven't quite joined yet but heard about the chamber is clear. What's the value proposition of being a chamber member? And so you see some of the tactics underneath that value proposition, things like Friday coffee, or the event we talked about, it's spectators providing network opportunities. We continue to do small business awards and recognition. Something new that's on this list is the creation of mentoring peer groups. And this is something I want to talk about on this slide. We've seen this concept be successful within some of the chamber groups that already exist. One is the Manufacturing President's Roundtable, which Sean facilitates, and the HR Roundtable. So these are groups where we're bringing like industries together, or like professions in one chamber. In one group, manufacturers, and the other HR professionals, and they're able to have a group of peers where they can talk about concepts hot topics in their industry that day, challenges they're facing, and then they have a network that they can go to and talk about how do you solve this problem in your business. We want to do that with small businesses. We want to gather small businesses either from like industries, maybe not like, but maybe just comparative size, things like that, where they can have a group of peers and you can talk about the industry, the issues that are facing you, have a safe space to talk about challenges, and a network that you can really get together with and say, you know, how are we going to support each other in our business and become allies as you grow together. It's an important part of the value that we think we can bring to small businesses going forward. The other thing that we'd like to focus on is providing resources. So we talked about HR, marketing, communications, those types of services that we can bring to small business, supporting entrepreneurship. We can do these services both through our traditional means, but also virtual opportunities. So we've seen in 2020 and 2021, our ability to deliver value virtually. And so I think you'll see an expansion of that within the chamber over the next few years. And then leverage resources and relationships with the area business associations. You see some of them represented in the room here today. But our staff has done a great job of getting with those business associations and making sure that we're aligned and saying we understand what your goals are, what our goals are. We're swimming in our own lanes, but we're also swimming in the same direction. So we think that's a great opportunity to continue to leverage the chamber's resources and to provide value to the business community.
Okay, the next goal is advocating for business on all levels of government. So increasing our engagement in government issues and activities. And I think, you know, the chamber's had its hands full with a lot of different issues, and we haven't really focused on this. This is an important aspect of what we need to do as a chamber. We need to be the voice of business when it comes to decisions that are being made at the government level. So we want to connect business leaders with government officials, be that conduit. I think we already do some of that. And activate committees for transportation and government relations, which I believe we're in the process of kind of reigniting some of those types of committees. Also kind of tied to the same goals is to develop a proactive chamber agenda on key community issues. These are issues that, again, were supported by the survey that the consultant put out. This is what our community, what you all told us were important. MSP, Capitol Avenue, those are real significant projects for our community that we need to be actively supporting as a chamber. Secondly, Lincoln University came out in spades in just about every kind of comment that was out there. It's an asset to Jefferson City. You know, we are lucky to have a university in our town, and we need to take advantage of that as a community. And Lincoln University is reaching out their hand as well. So how do we really foster that growth and success? And then the last kind of area is, you know, we have quite an opportunity here being in the center of the state for sports tourism. And we've got a great parks department, and we've got lots of opportunities here. That is certainly something, again, that is supported by the community study that we need to, as a chamber, support.
The third goal we were going to talk about in the strategic plan is enhance the availability of a talented workforce. And all of you as either managers, business owners know that workforce continues to remain a primary challenge to ongoing operations of business. Certainly that inhibits the growth of business at this point. And really the main goal, or this main strategy underneath this goal, is to build this workforce development coalition, is what we're calling it. In this coalition would be the key partners that are going to set the agenda for workforce development in the community and move those following kind of tactics that you see below forward to prioritize and move forward. So what really the goal is to create a knowledgeable group that can focus effort and align goals to address those various challenges to workforce that you see and those following. So things like workforce housing, which I know Jason knows all about the challenges there with workforce housing and childcare, public transportation, which Paula and her group and I talked about just at length, how that limits the ability in our community. So, you know, we need a group that's of key players that understand these, that are knowledgeable of them, and that can prioritize and move the ball forward. And then obviously, to grow a talented workforce, you need a strong education system. And so we do continue to partner with JC Public Schools and the other school systems, parochial school, private school here in Jefferson City, to make sure that we're getting training to our youth, and also grow our Partners in Education program, which is the program the Chamber facilitates that links together schools and private businesses. Accelerate the engagement of young talent in our area. So if you talk to anybody, again, the you know, common thread that you'll hear with business is saying, we need to find young people, we need to get them engaged, we need to get engaged in our business and engaged in our community. And so we do want to continue to build connections with young professionals, which has been a tremendous program with the Chamber, to partner with employers and higher education to expand internship opportunities. And this is one that's been kicked off already with the Lincoln University Internship program, which is the Chamber has helped to facilitate and get off the ground. The pilot semester of that was this past fall semester. We felt like it was really successful. We placed 16 interns with 12 different businesses here in Jefferson City. We are registering interns for the spring semester today. It's ongoing. And we hope to double those numbers. So double the amount of interns that we place and double the amount of businesses engaged. And we can see that flywheel starting to spin as we launch that program. These young people coming from Lincoln are, they're smart, they're talented, they're engaged, and they're a great asset to this community. We need to make sure that we don't let the opportunity pass to link them with our local businesses. And then emerging issues through Leadership Jeff City and other community engagement opportunities.
Okay, the next goal is champion the competitive advantages of diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, one of our new values is welcoming. I think that this goal ties directly to that. I'm sure a lot of you in your businesses know how important that inclusion is, and we as a chamber need to place some focus on that as well. So some of the tactics there are developing a database of diverse businesses, organizations, increasing the number of diverse participants in the chamber, and creating a minority business council focused on the needs of our members. I always think about Larry Lithikin's statement with Jeff City Schools, you know, we're better together. This is, you know, a strategy that, you know, if you get more thoughts and ideas and experiences, we're going to have a better product. So that is going to be a goal of ours.
Finally, in order to be a going concern long-term, the Chamber, as we've diverged in with economic development, and we're standing up you know, this focused entity, we need to make sure that we are growing and strengthening member engagement, and making sure that the Chamber's financial integrity is intact, and that we have a flourishing, growing Chamber. And so one of the ways that we plan to do that is to diversify the Chamber's membership base and revenue streams. Tiered dues systems is something that we've talked about for many years. How do we approach businesses at different levels and bundle potential investments, as opposed to coming to businesses multiple times for things like Friday coffee, sponsorships on top of dues, to find packages that we can approach a business with that include sponsorship opportunities. We've launched a Chamber Foundation called Forward Jefferson City. It's a 501c3 organization that includes both the Chamber and the EDO. as its members. And that's so that we can leverage that for charitable giving, but also for government grant opportunities. So as we launch things like this Workforce Development Coalition, there may be government money available, and that's usually just available through a 501c3. So we have Forward Jefferson City we can lean on to get grant opportunities, and we can deploy that grant money into chamber programs. Accelerate the membership growth by engaging more non-members. You'll see a push in 2022 back to member growth. And so we'll be calling on you, chamber champions, I would say, to get back out and beat the street. And we all know of businesses that are missing the boat and that could be drawing value from the chamber. And we're going to we'll get together and we're going to be beating the street again to drive membership growth. To maximize the benefits of the chamber health insurance plan, which is a key value proposition that we have available to our members, and addressing the affordability of membership with small businesses, especially startups, folks that are in the entrepreneurial stage of their journey, where we can facilitate value from the chamber to really get them up and going and helping to launch their business. And finally, you know, and this is a key part of the plan, is that we need to do some analysis on our physical infrastructure and our staffing infrastructure to make sure that we have the right resources in place. We are going to do, or we're in the process of doing, an assessment on this facility to see if it meets our needs in the future, or what our facility needs might be going forward. We are investing in professional development in order to retain our great staff that we have today. And then we are working towards making sure that we get the right people in the right seats, that we've got goals aligned for our staff and that they're aligned with this strategic plan. And then you'll see us work on ways to develop our communication strategy. So we plan to use both traditional and new media to make sure that we are providing access to information, to value from the chamber to our chamber members. And I don't know if there's any, okay, so before we go to questions, I will just let you know where we are right now. So we have, as a board, ratified and accepted this strategic plan. And so what we're moving forward with today is goal setting, right? So that's Gary's goals for the year, saying within these goals, strategies, and tactics, what is it that we as a board expect Gary to accomplish in 2022? And then following down from that are staff goals. So Gary is working with his staff to say, you know, this year, 2022, what is it that we plan to accomplish and how does it align with the strategic plan? So that's how we're going to move these objectives forward, is they'll have direct correlation with our goal setting for 2022. We're in that process currently. So, you know, with all that information, Gaspare, I've thrown a lot at you. In the past 15, 20 minutes, we're opening the floor for questions on the strategic plan. Yes, Jason?
One thing comes to mind, I think you nailed it.
Thank you.
This is awesome. Thank you, Jeff and Gaspare, for leading this charge and whoever else.
There were a lot of people involved, and of course the staff here, Gary and his team, and we're blessed with a really good team here. And let's not forget, there's been a ton of transition the past couple of years. You know, there's been a lot of really good involvement, and you know, being in Jefferson City for 7 years, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I think people step up when they're needed. We're at a real critical point now where, you know, Jeff has done an awesome job. I mean, kind of navigating kind of the EDO split with the chamber. That's a big deal. But we have a solid plan. We have, you know, the executive director, president that we wanted, and a great team to kind of follow up on this. And I just want to caution everybody, you know, these goals, they're all great goals, but sometimes it takes a couple years to get there, you know. And so we're going to chip away at these goals. So that, you know, at least, you know, I know I can speak on behalf of the team that's been involved. You know, we want you all to be proud of this chamber and get value out of the chamber.
Other questions? if anyone is online has a question, feel free to unmute and ask it or to chat. Actually, he's monitoring the chat. All right. So we must have done this.
How are you going to get the private and members involved to accomplish these goals?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're working towards, that's a great question, Jason. Thank you for asking that, because I think you all will see this going forward. We're doing some strategic reviews of member renewals on a quarterly basis. So one of the things that we're working on in 2022 is we're going to take a look at members that are renewing on a per quarter basis and start to look at ones that we need to be proactively approaching and talking to about. Number one, maybe it's bundling opportunities where we see a business that should be gaining more value through sponsorships or different opportunities or different other chamber value propositions. Maybe their HR person needs to be engaged in the HR roundtable and going to that business, Gary or staff, proactively before renewal and saying, hey, let's talk about what you're getting from the chamber and other opportunities that we have to support you. And in line with that, here's goals in our strategic plan that we feel like align really well with your business. And we may want you to participate in the Minority Business Council or the or small business peer group or things like that. So that's kind of the part of the way that we plan to engage members going forward to help get this ball rolling.
Jason got a lot of questions.
Yes.
How do you see yourself involved with the EDO, and how do you see yourself separated from the side that you passed?
Right. So we've done a lot of work, I think, over the past few months of the way that we are sort of terming it as like swim lanes. So we're trying to figure out where the markers are and which lanes we're swimming in, right? And so most of the, there's going to be some areas where we cross over, for sure. Workforce is one of those that's both a chamber priority and a priority of the Economic Development Organization. And so on those, there's a couple things that we need to do. Number one, we need to figure out who's running point, right? So who's the owner of that objective? And then the second thing we need to figure out is how do we swim in the same direction? So if we are crossing over and we know that one person's running point, how do we support it and move both organizations? Because they can be objectives under both umbrellas.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, I mean, we're just starting this journey, right? So there is a little bit of overlap and some bumping into each other, but we've got Gary and Luke, they're not adversarial, we're trying to accomplish the same goal. So we're working through some of those kind of swim lanes. And the other thing I would mention is that, when you look at the boards of the EDO and the chamber, a lot of the same people are there. I know we are. And so there's a vested interest of those, constituents that this all works together. And I think we'll get there. We just have some bumps to kind of get through.
There's what I would say like a purposeful cross-pollination on the boards to make sure that we have alignment of interest and incentives. Any other questions?
Jason.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure in 2021 to serve as chairman, and I'm excited. Such a capable guy in Gaspare to lead the organization for 2022. So excited to hand that over to him.
Gaspare and Jeff and Jason for. I did want to just say one word about the Lincoln University internship partnership that we're doing in this coming semester. If you'd like more information on how to work with us to bring a young person into your shop for a semester, it's a paid internship opportunity. It's about 10 hours, about 10 or 12 months now. And we were fortunate to have William Coleman, who's our intern here at the chamber this semester. William back in the semester, and he's helping a lot. He's my accountants. If you want some more information, just reach out to me. they will help match the person that your organization is.
I want to put a plug in that one as well. Montemito participated in that. Javon, our intern, has exceeded our expectations. So I would say at the level of talent and the level of value that's coming from the internship program from our side has been exceeded our expectations. So I would just strongly encourage those of you that think you may have an internship opportunity for a Lincoln student, do your due diligence, and the chamber will help you. So if you say, I think I got an idea, but I'm not sure how to execute on it, we are here to help you. We're here to facilitate that, and we will help you figure it out. So lean on us.
So it's all yours.
Yeah, well, Jeff, why don't you advance that slide there, and you'll see that, do we have any member announcements in the room before the last few minutes? Does anyone have anything they would like to share? Okay. Then we'll advance one more. And I'll invite you to our next Friday coffee, which is in January. That's on the 14th at 9 a.m. And our topic will be a legislative update. So looking forward to that opportunity and hope that you can join us. That will close. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Really?